Let's bring on our esteemed guest on Tuesdays, Larry from WagerWeb. And I got to say, we're going to kick it right off here. What a nice Christmas present again from Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins. Because I have to say here, Larry, as we were capping the game on Sunday, looking at it going, nothing is going right for the Dolphins offensively with injuries. You're going to leave it up to a rookie quarterback. The guy on the other sidelines, being Bill Belichick, dominates rookie quarterbacks. And I said, this is going to tell you a lot, once again, about Brian Flores and how good a coach he is. I'm so impressed here, Larry, with the way the Dolphins have executed this season, in contention to make the playoffs now for sure.
You're absolutely right. And again, guys, thank you for having me on, and happy holidays to both of you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Quarterback doesn't have to throw for 300 or 400 yards to win in the NFL anymore. And Flores, showed it. We had our top receiver out, our top running back out, and yet they still gained a lot of yards on the ground where, when he had to throw, he threw the ball. And that's what counts, is winning the games. And they got to win the next two. They win the next two, it's going to be a great Christmas for Dolphin fans. But, man, Flores makes a difference. His attitude, what he brings, as a defensive coach, what he brings as a NFL head coach. And I'll tell you something, they've changed so much as a team from last year to this year, and points scored and points against. If you look at last year and this year, man, it's a complete difference that you tell yourself what's going on, and we got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, speaking of that rookie quarterback, I mean, I have to eat some crow there, because I remember 6 weeks ago, we're sitting here going, hey, are the Dolphins really serious about wanting to win, benching Ryan Fitzpatrick for Tua? I've been really impressed with Tua, and you've sort of seen that progression. So I would imagine as Dolphins fans, now you're settled in on Tua. Do you think you actually have a shot to make a run in the playoffs if you get there?
Well, it's a hard sell for me for the fact that we're not throwing downfield a lot. And you need to be able to throw downfield. But then again, the injuries on the offense have hurt us a lot there. So I think we have a great chance. Look, we were the ones that kicked the Patriots out of this year's playoffs, so that's a great feeling. And we got a big game against the Raiders, and then the last game against the Bills. So if they win these two games, I think with Flores' attitude and these young players, I think we got a chance. I mean, I don't know how far we can go, but we have a chance.
I love it.
Yeah, I think the important part here also, Larry, when you take a look at the Miami Dolphins, it's not so much even winning in the playoffs or even making the playoffs. I think Brian Flores and the organization did the right thing by putting Tua in and saying, hey, you're in a modified playoff run. Let's see how you actually do heading into it. And just getting that start in the playoffs on a big stage, whether it goes great or it doesn't, it's a great experience factor for moving forward to the next part of the year. And also, an extra added bonus here that we might not even need, those Miami Dolphins go on the road. When the initial circle, oh my goodness, they're going to have to beat the Buffalo Bills to get into the playoffs. Larry, they might not. The Buffalo Bills might have everything wrapped up where they can't get the number one seed, still have the division, rest some of the starters. That could be big for your Miami Dolphins.
Crossing my fingers that does happen.
Yeah. Yes.
Excuse me.
I am as well. So staying in the AFC East, let's talk AFC East here. So you're a Jets fan, right? You're sitting there like, this season has stunk. Our team's an embarrassment. But help is right around the corner. We're going to draft Trevor Lawrence, and everything is good. Then you go out and out of nowhere, stupidly beat the LA Rams. So basically, I love how this is worded right here. The Jets gave their fans coal for Christmas. I think that is absolutely right. What do you think about what the Jets did here? And what do they do going forward now? They just lost out on a generational quarterback.
Everyone's saying about the coal for the fans, but you know what I think is worse? The fact that number one pick was going to be there for whatever head coach and staff were going to come in next year. What a sell to call a coach or someone that you want to coach your team and say, we got the number one draft pick. What do you say? Why don't you come aboard and let's, rebuild the Jets? They don't have that anymore. That was a one thing to sell to a new head coach, because if they bring back this guy next year, man, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And now they don't even have that selling point. So I know the fans are hurt, but, man, they don't have a selling point for a new coach now. They don't have that number one pick. And that's a great selling point to bring a coach and a staff in saying, come to New York, we got the number one pick. And a lot of guys will sign up for that.
No, even if you want to bring in one of those guys from college football, the next upcoming guy where you're trying to hard sell them and say, hey, look, I'll give you $10 million a year to come be a coach. You don't even have to do that. You can actually hitch your wagon to one of the best young quarterback prospects, and you don't win in the National Football League, at least at an elite level, unless you have one of those really good young quarterbacks. So it's a great point, Larry, that you bring up. Now, also, when you take a look at the Jets and their fans, I mean, they've been through so much. You watch the whole year. If you're a Jets fan, the only thing you're doing is sitting on the couch hoping that you don't even care if they even play well. You just want them to lose. But I have to feel, because we always like to bring it back to the Dolphins when you come on, as a Dolphins fan, you're like, hell yes, Jets, win this game. Send this guy to Jacksonville so we don't have to deal with this guy for the next 15 years.
Me and my son were talking about that. We don't want Trevor Lawrence in
exactly.
In the world, man. We don't want to face this guy twice a year, and he's gonna be a great NFL quarterback. We all know that. So let him go somewhere else, man. Let him go anywhere, but we have to play him twice a year.
It's unbelievable. I just still can't believe it. And I mean, how's this going to go on draft day? I mean, is he going to want to go to Jacksonville? All crazy. But let's go to the other conference and let's stay in the East, the best division we've all ever seen. The amazing race, as it's put here, the NFC East. Every team, I'm looking here, I'm like, okay, one of these teams has to be eliminated now. The Eagles can't be alive, right? No, at 4-9-1, the Eagles could still win this division. I mean, what the hell are we doing with the NFC East?
Well, look, last time we spoke about this, Dallas was on a big losing streak. Now they've won 2 in a row. And just look at it this way. If Washington wins their next 2 games, they win. They win the East. So it's like, what's going on? I thought the Giants were going to pull up. They've lost 2 in a row. And I like this game coming up. I like the idea of this Dallas Eagles game. And what the Eagles are doing with the quarterback, that might make a difference. This kid's like, quarterback ratings like 92, 93 after 2 games hurt. So it's going to be a run for the finish line. But the way you look at it, if Washington wins their last 2 games, they're in.
Yeah, and also when you take a look at the odds right now, Washington is minus 260 in that range to win the division. The Eagles at plus 550, the Giants at plus 600, the Dallas Cowboys at plus 1400. So theoretically, you can see this Sunday, the NFL did a really good thing, because the one thing they've been real cognizant of over the past maybe 10 years or so is those last 2 weeks, making sure that teams are not out of it until the last minute, so there's no competitive advantage. So hence they moved the Washington football game from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock to match it up with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we could see on Sunday, there's probably a pathway for the Washington football team to win it, because if they're favored at home against Carolina, they handle their business. That immediately knocks out the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles from contention to win the NFC East. And now we see the New York Giants. Hey, the Giants aren't playing the Jets this weekend. Giants are playing the Baltimore Ravens, scrapping and clawing to get into the playoffs themselves. We could conceivably see at the end of the day either a crazy run next week between the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles playing in Philadelphia for the division, or it could be lights out, Washington's in, they get the rest up. Now, Larry, the fun stuff always comes up here. It's not so much what happens on the field. Dwayne Haskins gets in the game last week. They're down 20-3, brings them back, say, hey, if we need to rest Alex Smith at least another week and maybe get him ready for the Eagles game, or we can even clinch this weekend, goes out to the club, takes the pictures on social media. He's looking at a possible 4-game suspension, and you're not even sure that you're going to be able to get Alex Smith on the field. So real turmoil, specifically from your side on the opposite end of the table that we look at it. Washington is really up in the air this week with a chance to clinch, going, who's even going to play quarterback for us?
Yeah, it's, Alex Smith was doing so well. And the fact is that, if he has an issue, you have the backup. And now you're looking at, I'm not even sure who the third man is there, but it's going to, once the NFL or whenever we get notice on what's going to happen, you're going to see a lot of running around on this game. But I don't know. I don't know where people's heads are sometimes when you have a chance to start for an NFL team, make a difference in the playoffs, and these things happen. It just doesn't make any sense.
It is bizarre. It's well, maybe he just likes the wings. He likes the wings.
Yeah, all he had to do. You're right, Kyle. All he had to do was go out and say, "Look, I wasn't in there to do any nefarious things. I was just picking up some wings and some fries to go home, and he might be able to play this weekend."
Yeah, exactly. And he just wanted some wings. I don't blame the young guy. Go out there and get your wings. Live your life. And
I think the NFL, they'll give him a little bit of leeway, and I think everybody's rooting for this team after all the issues with the name change and the division that they're in. I think everybody's really rooting for them now.
Yeah, I'm rooting against them because if you can't give your team a name, you don't deserve to be in the play. I mean,
No.
we always like to joke
And
about
we had,
this.
and by the way, also another big lawsuit from '09 for a couple $1 million comes out against Daniel Snyder. Boy, he really wins in the media, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a great job. I mean, just imagine if you did that to a baby, seriously. If you if you didn't name your baby for 6 months, that kid would be messed up, like future serial killer messed up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know how you get away with
Well,
it.
let's hope the Cleveland Indians of the MLB
Yeah.
do this quickly and not have these issues, because you're right. It's like watching soccer when they say the Washington football team or
It's
football
bizarre.
club. When you're watching a soccer team.
It's just so weird. It's so weird. So, playoff races, they're shaping up. You look at the top, like Kansas City, I'll be really surprised. I think we all would if they don't go ahead and just lock up that number one seed in the AFC. Yep. And then, you look at the bottom, you've got you got a team could be 11-5 in Baltimore and still miss the playoffs if your Dolphins hold serve. But then you go to the NFC, much, much closer. You got Green Bay on top. You've got Seattle and New Orleans right behind them. Green Bay, a tough game this weekend against Tennessee.
And then Chicago.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts on this playoff picture? What do you expect to be at the top? And maybe what does WagerWeb think is going to happen when you overall look at this?
Well, when you look at it, I think everyone knows they don't expect Kansas City to lose any of these last two games, even sitting Mahomes in the last game. And we could thank the Steelers for that, for losing 3 in a row. They made this a little bit easier for the Chiefs. And as far as Green, I mean, Chicago has been playing great football, and they play a tough Tennessee team and a tough Bears team. And I have an idea that we could see maybe a little change of direction here, depending on these next two games, depending on how Seattle and the Rams do. But then again, the Rams, one day they're incredible, and then the next day it's like, who came to work? Who came to play? It doesn't make any sense.
It's bizarre.
No, you're absolutely right, because when you're looking at that race coming down to it, because you would figure the Packers would be in the driver's seat, but again, a couple tough games to end the season, and what are we going to get out of the New Orleans Saints, who were the final score 3 points really didn't dictate how well Kansas City pretty much put a beat down on them, as opposed to that late touchdown can cover a lot of masking issues. But as we look at the Saints, maybe getting back on the horse if they can beat the Minnesota Vikings and overtake them, because if they win the next two, Green Bay loses their next two, they flip and stay to that top seed. And it's a big deal, because this year in the NFL, Larry, as you know, only one advancing team with the bye this year, so it's extra, credible to get that top seed and even get the odds put even more in your favor, because you get rested and ready while everybody's playing against each other. So this is the part I like. We're heading down the backstretch here. Week 16, week 17, we see the teams that need wins, see the teams that don't need wins. Your games that you're looking at this week, Larry, so you know what? As opposed to Miami Dolphins, I know we're going to watch that game. What are you looking forward to this weekend to try to get some angles here for some matchups?
Well, first of all, we've been seeing a lot of even action on both sides on the Rams-Seattle game from the very beginning. That's going to be a great game. That can make a lot of difference of what we see going into the last week. Both teams have had their share of troubles this year. And also, Dallas-Philadelphia always brings a little bit of action and excitement, no matter what the records are. I mean, they show a lot of action on both sides also, but we're seeing a lot more action since yesterday afternoon going to today, going on Philadelphia. So hopefully, it evens out a little bit with the Cowboys. And I think a lot of people like the fact that Jalen Hurts is starting, and they like what they see in him. And I think the Cowboys used to be America's team, but lately I think there's just a lot of hate for those guys. I don't know what it is.
Hate to see it, Larry.
They deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve it.
And Indianapolis and the Steelers, a lot of money on Indy, and I don't know why, because I don't see the Steelers losing 4 in a row. And I think now it's Steelers plus 1.5. So it's that's going to be a really exciting game. A lot of people are saying that Steelers are going to lose that fourth one. Man, I just don't think that happens. I think they get their act together this week, and no matter what's going on, they're going to have to come in and show that they belong up there. But, losing 4 straight, I don't see happening. But I guess our players are seeing it another way, because a lot of action's going on the other side.
Love that. The Philadelphia Eagles, music to Donnie's ears.
Put that money on them. Let's go. Let's ride.
Damn Cowboys breaking my heart
and
this last week.
And, of course, my Dolphins, they need to win. They need to win this week. And, of course, they need to win the following week. And the Ravens got to, like you said, They're the ones right on the Dolphins' heels right now, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to this finish of this NFL season. I'm so happy we got this far. I really am.
Right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it kind of is a miracle. And really, we were all kind of hoping maybe we could get one more canceled game, get that 8th playoff team. But one other game I think is really interesting, just your quick take on this, the Rams and Seattle. You mentioned it. Sometimes the Rams look like the best team in the league. Their defense, probably, in my opinion, the best defense talent-wise, top to bottom in the league. Then they fall apart against the Jets. Now they've got Seattle this week. I could see a lot of action on that game as well. I'm excited for that Seattle Rams game. What do you think about that this week?
You have to see who comes to play quarterback for Seattle, because he's thrown a lot of interceptions this year, something really uncommon for him. And I think the Rams defense is going to make a difference. I just feel that, Seattle's always there at the end, and they always kind of flounder and just go away. And I think the Rams, I think the Rams pull it out. I think they go out there and get the job done. But it's one of the games that have shown a lot of movement since Sunday night, Monday morning. So there's a lot of interest in that game. It's one game that you're seeing two teams that are right up there fighting for that first place.
Christmas is coming this week, and WagerWeb is handing out gifts, and Larry is acting like Santa. Tell us all the good things, Larry, that are going on at WagerWeb this week.
Well, we still have our NFL contest that we give a lot of money every week with, and it's almost about over. But thank God we got through the season with it. No cancellations and everything seemed to go well. And don't forget, here at WagerWeb, we always have cash bonuses for our customers. Please check out the website. Up to 100% cash, every deposit. So that's what we're here for, man. We're here to give the players a little extra money, see if they can make a little extra money and take some out, which is important to our players. Be able to take that money out right away.
Absolutely. Making a little bit of money around the holidays never hurt anybody. Larry, thank you so much. Hopefully you get the nice, healthy, and happy holiday for your family out there. Thank you for being with us all this season. And we still got the playoffs coming up, so we would love to have you back, Larry. But thanks again. Enjoy your holiday.
Merry Christmas, Larry. Thank you.